Hello there, this is James. I'm going to give you a fast tutorial on how to play Enhance Shaman. I'm going to cover the glyphs, the spec, the add-ons, the rotations, cooldowns, and macros. As you can see, my Enhance Shaman has just regular gear on, it's Valor Point gear and looking for raid gear, nothing special. You're going to want to have your landslide on your main hand weapon and your landslide on your off-hand weapon. You're going to want to put the Wind Fury on your main hand weapon and you're going to want to put Flame Tongue on your off-hand weapon. This ensures your maximum fire damage. With the spec here, the first one is Astral Shift. What it does is it reduces damage that you take by 40% for 6 seconds. It's great to have during boss fights. The next two, you can pretty much pick anything. None of them really are fucking helpful. There's no such thing as a cookie cutter spec anymore. It's all what you prefer. I tend to go with passive talents as much as I can. Echo of the Elements here. When this happens to proc, all the damage that you're doing is just duplicated again by that spec and spells damage or heals that you've done. And Astral Guidance, of course, is when you do a bunch of damage, it will take a bunch of the damage you did and turn it into heals for you and your party members. So you're going to do a lot of off healing purely by accident, and people are going to love you for it. The glyphs I'm using is the glyph of Flame Shock. It keeps your Flame Shock up on any particular target for an extra 25% of the time. That's great for when you have groups that you're fighting and you want to use your Fire Nova repeatedly for high AoE damage. I have the glyph of Elemental Totem. What it does is it reduces the time of the cooldown for your Elemental Fire Totem by 40%, so every 3 minutes I get to pull this son of a bitch out again. And the Ghost Wolf. You're just less hindered by movement reducing infects. It's almost as good as it used to be, but not quite. The next thing I'm going to cover here is an add-on that I like to use. The name of it's right here. I'm not going to try and pronounce it and have everybody make fucking fun of me. And what it does, that's it right there. What it does is when you have something targeted, it brings up the rotation that you're going to want to use in your priorities. And don't take this rotation as gospel. You can change it up anytime you feel like. It's not as rotation isn't as important in Enhance Shaman as it is in other classes and specs, and you'll see why. The majority of your time playing this is going to be waiting on your abilities to cool down. Your white damage, your auto hits are your biggest fucking weapon here. So it shows you that you always want to have your Searing Totem down, all times, no matter what. Number one priority. What it does is it gives you a buff that increases your attack power by up to 40%, and it's proccing non-stop. So you want to have that going at all times. And it'll, right here where my mouse is wiggling, it's going to show you stacks of Maelstrom weapon. So when you're fighting something, you want to get your Searing Totem down, and the basic rotation people use is Stormstrike, Lava Lash, Unleash Elements, Flame Shock, and then you're waiting. So you can see, bam, now I get the free Lightning Bolt. It's pretty simple. Then you're just hitting them as they're on cooldown. Since you have Flame Shock up, go ahead and use the Earth Shock here and there. They build up pretty fucking fast. As soon as you can put the Flame Shock on again, you want to keep it going. Free Lightning Bolt. You see I have just my regular self buffs up. No buffs from any friends. And I'm going at about 22, close to 23k DPS off of nothing. Just by white damage mostly. Your cooldowns are going to be your Feral Spirit, of course, and your totems. Your Stormlash totem and your Fire Elemental totem. What this is going to do when you bring these up, it shoots your DPS through the fucking roof. I'm going to give you a couple seconds here to show you how high it can get, still with no buffs. So another 5,000 DPS isn't bad. And they're all pretty much just 2-minute cooldowns. The other thing I want to show you now is the macros. This is what I've done with the macros. I put an unleash elements with flame shock macro. So you hit it twice. You hit it once for the unleash elements, and the second time we'll just do the flame shock for you. Keep that flame shock up. Keep that Siren totem going at all times. It's your most important thing. With the Wind Shear, I did a Wind Shear and a Purge all in one macro. You just have to hit it one time. It interrupts from far away up to 25 yards, I think, and it will take a good buff off of whoever it is you're fighting. Then Shamanistic Rage, I just have the Shamanistic Rage. It's an old macro I don't use anymore. With the Fire Elemental Totem, it doesn't always work for some reason, but I'll do the cast Fire Elemental Totem, cast Stormlash Totem. You see, it doesn't always work, that's why I have them both up on the action bar. The Feral Spirit, I put in the Feral Spirit, the Astral Shift, and the Astral Guidance. This way, you're doing the extra damage with your Feral Spirits, you're doing the extra damage with your Ancestral Guidance, it's doing the heals and whatnot, and your Astral Shift is you're taking less damage. Put them all together, 2-minute macro, you're good to go on bosses. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to link the macros in the description, and I'm going to put a link to the add-on that was right up here in the description. Another cool thing you want to have out is your Spirit Walk. 2-minute cooldown, 15-second good sprint. You go just as fast as any mounted target. You see rogues using it a lot, and droids. But yeah, for the most part, you're just waiting on things to cool down. It's a lot of white damage, but it's big DPS. And you're going to beat any similarly geared elemental shaman every time. You just will. It's strong. And thank you very much.